on the topic fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in schools education to achieve sustainable development goals. Today, we are having number of speakers with us. They are Mr. Safera HASANI, Dr. Mario, Professor Nada, JIBRAN Ali Khan, Baptuna Kelvin, Manmaya, Dr. Elizabeth, Dr. Muthamen, Dr. Nirman. These all are key speakers for today's webinar. So now I request all our speakers and Mr. Manish Gaur, Project Director of K.I.T.E.S Education, to turn on your camera so that we can have virtual light ceremony. Can I request all our panelists to please make your camera on? Researching K-12 education by accelerating a grassroots movement, collection of stakeholders of education to foster education towards the students, ambitious, inspiring, innovative, driven by knowledge, technology, entrepreneurship, and sportsmanship. We have desired to metamorphose current educational institute into a futuristic center of excellence. We make every day count in each child's life by facilitating more creative, opportunity-oriented environment, which is very much important in 25th century society and economy. The purpose of K.I.T.E.S is to assist children in realizing their true potential, passion, and purpose in life. K.I.T.E.S will aid students in their holistic development and be master of K.I.T.E.S. What K.I.T.E means: knowledge, innovation, technology, entrepreneurship, and sportsmanship. For this, we will act an instrument to provide the children-centric, passionate, skills-based, and hands-on practice learning. We find unique talent in every children by establishing equality in education. We create visionary leadership at every level with an ambitious and impactful education system that is globally effective. The integration and blend of 5 pillars of growth, K.I.T.E.S education can aid the student and teachers to grow above the gathering by preparing them for the 21st century skills necessary for the new world of work. So now I request our first speaker for the day. I request our first speaker to come on and share their views. Our first speaker is Safera HASANI, Administrative Assistant, Southeast European University, North Macedonia. And the topic is the importance of teacher pre-nourishing in institutions. Over to you, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm very glad that I have the opportunity to present today in front of you, dear participants and respected colleagues. This is a very great honor, and I'm very pleased to be your guest speaker today. And hopefully we will all together share some ideas and experiences regarding new trends in teaching. And also by sharing them, we will also in the meantime learn from each other, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to practice that in our teaching. So again, good afternoon. It is an afternoon here in North Macedonia. And very briefly, I would like to introduce myself first. So I'm SHPRESA HASANI, and I'm coming from North Macedonia. Currently, I'm engaged as a teaching assistant in Language Center, Southeast European University. And I'm also a lecturer in Access Micro Scholarship Program. So my background is related to ELT, English Learning Teaching. And also I'm more focused to work with teenagers and young adults. Therefore, my interests are in fields related to curriculum design, new trends in teaching, and also language coaching. So my topic for today's presentation is the importance of teacherpreneurship in higher education institutions. The terminology of entrepreneurship is a very broad one, right? Because it consists of many elements which are all in a way linked together, such as knowledge, business, innovation, soft skills, collaboration, teamwork, assertiveness, and so on. So all these elements are in a way combined, and they all together form the new role of a teacher that we call teacherpreneur. Let's see more deeply what will be the session goals and which are the main objectives of the presentation. So what we need to be aware of. As I said, the main target is to discuss about the new role of the teacher. Because as we see, the teacher's role is nowadays changing a lot. And we will see here in details how can teachers learn from forming communities, learning communities, in which way we can benefit from them, and how we are capable to learn based on our own experiences and also using active reflection for better understanding and implementing what we are teaching, right? So we'll try here to focus on two main questions, right? What does it mean to become a successful teacherpreneur? And then what kind of results have educators achieved implementing teacherpreneurship? In order to elaborate these items more deeply, we will need actually to focus and see what are some new trends in teaching. We are all aware now that we live in the era of digital learning, right? Especially with this pandemic situation, everything turned to be taught online, right? And whether we like it or not, we are all required to create e-learning contents, to use many educational teaching apps, also learning platforms which are required for online marketplaces, right? Therefore, the entrepreneurs are directly involved in the process of education, because the teaching skills that we are teaching and want our students to possess should, of course, be aligned with the needs of the market, and the educational institutions need to be aware of this and then be ready to prepare their students to cope with the rapidly changing circumstances, which, of course, should fit to the market's need, right? Teacherpreneurship is an evolving form of entrepreneurship. Therefore, it contains many elements, as I said, of entrepreneurship. We are all facing now a situation when we have to teach these so-called Google learners, right? They have grown up by using different virtual reality games, and therefore the teacher's role has been shifted, and the teacher here is not the only provider of the information, right? Because the students can easily find the information that they need on the Google, on the internet, using different platforms. Therefore, as teachers, we need to be aware what kind of skills we need to provide to these students in order so they gain the skills which are needed for the marketplace. We say that this phenomenon has transformed the entire learning environment. And as we said, since the teacher is not the means information provider, there is a huge demand to transform these learning skills. In other words, as learning is increasingly moving online, the concept of teacherpreneurship in this new education landscape is seen as an important conduit of innovation. We will go here and dive more deeply into these concepts by trying to define how teacherpreneurs can be aware of their skills and how these skills can be transferable to students. So according to Matley, teacherpreneurs are those teachers who are very skilled and of course very passionate about their teaching, but at the same time they are willing to share their ideas and inspire other teachers to transform their teaching and learning. Because, you know, teaching is an ongoing process and we are constantly learning. It is very important here also to have the ability to develop a strength-finding mastermind and apply this in our classrooms. And by this also helping our students to perform and engage at higher levels. These kind of teachers can also prove that their skills are transferable and their pedagogical talent can be used as an asset to find many innovative solutions to challenge facing the educational industry. Also, a very important fact here is that they use creativity and reflection, very often self-reflection, to think beyond their teaching and to find some of possible ways to make lessons more meaningful and usable outside the classroom as well, not only inside of the classroom. For example, they can take part in preparing social projects for teachers and students, as we do now, material design packages. They can also offer consulting for other teachers and so on. Even though at the beginning this sounds very demanding and of course a very challenging task, still making the teachers leaving their comfort zone will help us to develop professionally and personally. Therefore, teacherpreneurship can offer many authentic and innovative solutions and add value to our educational industry, which is more globalized nowadays. The term entrepreneurship refers to individuals' ability to turn ideas into action, right? Because we usually combine ideas and then we have the opportunity to put them into action. It includes, as we said, a lot of creation and innovation, but also risk-taking, because we cannot always anticipate what challenges we might encounter. And then it comes the ability to plan and manage projects in order to achieve the objectives. Thus, entrepreneurship in education is about lifelong competence development. So here we focus more on long-term goals rather than short-term goals, which are more easy to achieve. Once again, the entrepreneurial teacher needs to be someone who listens attentively and also can pick up and put to good use new and interesting ideas. This kind of teacher also needs to have the ability to sell ideas to another. Above all, they should motivate their students to become passionate, to create, grow, and learn in the same time. But this also includes self-reflection, because self-reflection might be a very good tool for progress tracking. As more students graduate to pursue social sector careers, it is very important here to highlight for higher education and leadership programs to incorporate these practices into their experience and also in the curriculum, because it can provide a better connection between the theory and the practice. The emphasis here should also be put on the working with community in order to identify which aspects are the most important one to be considered and what are the needs of the marketplace. And the students, together with the teachers, they need to be aware of these phenomena. So they need to be ready to face the challenges and complexities and also give solutions how to overcome them. Therefore, I will stress once more that it's an imperative for educational institutions to offer purpose-based training to support their students' personal and professional growth. Because these ongoing global complex challenges demand a lot of innovation and innovative solutions. And these are developed in line with the teachers who can effectively advance these social transformations, because without the help of the teachers, they cannot be implemented into the marketplaces. As we can refer to the strategy of the European Union, it highlights that the importance of the development of entrepreneurial culture can be achieved by fostering the right mindset, and also entrepreneurial skills and awareness are very important for career opportunities. So once more, we can say that productive teacherpreneurs can be teachers who are involved in mentoring, but in the same time, they are also willing to share their work. They are willing to evaluate their colleagues and also give accurate feedback as a kind of a contribute for building this partnership. Teachers also should learn from one another and by sharing best experiences and practices. We can see that there is an urgent need for the classroom experts to shape the policy instructions based on the reality of teaching and learning. The accent, as we said, should be put on communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creative problem-solving skills. And if we can demonstrate that we can put this into practice, we can raise our academic standards. Teacher unions also need to transform into professional guilds, where members can make high performer standards, and the skills of teacherpreneur can extend, of course, locally and globally. This was my presentation in general. So now I would like, if you have some questions or if you want to start a discussion or to share some ideas, you are more than welcome. I will be glad to answer your questions.
I request all the attendees, if they are having any question or any query, they can raise their hand or they can drop the message in the chat box. Really, ma'am, it's an informative lecture. As I can believe that being a student, teachers are the most important part in the life, because they not only give us the knowledge, even though they shape the student. We just act like a fruit. Students are the interior part and teachers are the outer part who shape the student in such a way that they can come in such a beautiful way that they can prove the world at what they are. And nowadays, with respect to change in the time period, change in the generation, nourishment of teachers with respect to students is very much important part in the school life.
Yes, I totally agree. Therefore, we all strive to cope with these changes and with these demands. I definitely agree that they are rapidly changing, but still we give our best to cope with these kind of changes. Do we have
Santosh, he raised his hand. Can I request the IT department to please unmute him?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible. Go for your query.
I'm Sanatan Ghosh from West Bengal. I would like to know one question from the ma'am. What to do to become a teacher trainer? That's my first thing. What to do to become a teacher trainer?
Okay, very good. So as you saw during my presentation, teacherpreneurship involves many elements. Except teaching, we need to be aware what are the requirements and the demands of the marketplace. So therefore, I said it's best if we combine our teaching practices with project work, so that we can see closely what are the requirements and what are the needs of the market, and then try to embed them and incorporate them in our teaching, so that when we offer our students, when they finish their studies, they will be capable to, and they will have the knowledge that will share with the marketplace, because they will be aware what kind of criteria and strategies are needed. So therefore, I said it's best to combine teaching with practice. In that sense, we can all together contribute in order to respond to the marketplace demands.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Sorry, your microphone is off. I cannot hear you.
Sorry, ma'am. Thank you so much for solving the query, and I'm really sorry for recognizing you wrong in the beginning.
It's okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Usually.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
It is pronounced SHPRESA, and its meaning is hope. So.
Oh wow, really a great meaning. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you all for giving.
Anyone having any other query?
Yes, sure.
It seems like your lecture is so good that all are cleared with your queries. Yes, one more query is there by Joseph. I request the IT team to please unmute him.
I can see a question here written on the chat. How many sectors are emerging for students and teachers? How do we cope with themes as a mentor? As I mentioned earlier, this is a very broad topic, and maybe 20 minutes are not enough to dive deeper and explain all the concepts. But generally, the focus here is in combining teaching with practice. This is the main focus. Okay, do we have another question?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Presha, for that wonderful talk. Your graphics and your communication skills are wonderful. And I love the word teacherpreneur. It's some kind of an innovative professional. Now, I just wanted to ask in context with India, where our traditional learning is slowly shifting into uh, the concept that we are talking about. Don't you think that it will take a little more out of school, I mean, out of the class hours intervention?
Yes, actually, this is a very good point because, as I also mentioned in my presentation, it takes time, and it is a two-side effort, not only effort from a teacher's side, but also from a student side. Therefore, I said it's important here to combine our power in order to be more successful. And yes, it needs to go slowly, but still, if we put enough focus on that, it can rapidly raise. Therefore, it's good as teachers to bear in mind this constantly.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gurleen.
More than welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for solving the queries. Now we move to our next speaker, Dr. Mario. He is a founder and chairman, leadership in Education Academy and Development, National Capital Region, Philippines. To please take the motion, I request the sir and introduce our delegates with the topic, Managing and Leading Change in the New Normal. Over to you, sir.
Okay, so a pleasant morning, afternoon to each and everyone. I'm Dr. Mario Lucero. I am the founder, chairman of LEAD Philippines, Leadership in Education Academy and Development, Philippines. And I'm also a school principal, an international school in the Philippines, a graduate school professor teaching educational leadership and management. And I am a founder of 8 organizations and 2 educational institutions. So I'd like to thank, of course, my friend Dr. Pandali for inviting me here as one of your keynote speakers. And I would like to share with you my topic to you, which is about managing and developing, managing and leading change in the new normal. Okay, managing and of course leading change for quality education in the new normal. So I know that there have been a lot of countries who are now coping with the pandemic, and the Philippines, our country, is still under lockdown, and we had experienced a lot of changes in our curriculum, in the program that we have, and of course in leadership. So as a principal, I'd like to share with you some of the changes that we have. And I'd like to show you the metaphors of the new normal. So I have here noodles, okay, wherein it has different shapes, okay, and different probably forms. So this is how we see the new normal. In some country, they would see it in different way, but in our country, we see it, experience it in difficult times. And the problem was then, we were not so ready in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technology. So leadership now becomes a problem, not only in the Philippines, but also across the globe. Okay, so what are the things that we need to change for ourselves? Okay, so what do we need to change for ourselves? So we need to change something like we have to be adaptive. We have to really look into some of our technical skills. Of course, for the family, we became closer with one another during pandemic. So we are so close with one another. For school, so for most of the schools here in the Philippines are closed right now, and we try to look into distance education, and the internet plays significant role in the teaching and learning process. Okay, and also significant change that we have for our community and for the nation. So with our community, of course, we have changed a lot, and we go into digital, okay, wherein most of the transactions are now digitally transmitted. Okay, so I'd like to quote Alfred North Whitehead, a British mathematician and philosopher. He said that the art of progress is to preserve order amid change and to preserve change amid order. Okay, so what is change management? So change management is complementary to leadership of change and together with the leadership necessary for effective and sustainable change. So we need to really have sustainable change programs. And many studies and surveys show examples of how change management and how it can be improved. So we are trying to improve now the kind of management, the kind of leadership that we have right now. And what to improve in change management? I think number one is our concept of change. What is our understanding about what change is? Okay, so we know that change is constant and change is inevitable. So, but I'd like to emphasize, I'd like to highlight that change does not necessarily mean progress. Okay, so there is also this concept of commitment to change. Are we really committed to change from top management to the middle management to the rank and file? Okay, so another is that the way we communicate with people. Okay, so nowadays I think we communicate via this kind of platform, Zoom, Google Meet. Also, it becomes now a global community, yet local in terms of how we feel. So communicating is very important, but you know, communicating virtually sometimes brings a lot of misunderstanding. So we still need to have sometimes face-to-face, okay? The way we plan our activities, the organizational structure that we have, our direction. So we never had probably imagined, okay, the change of curriculum that we have and how are these programs being implemented in school, and do we have enough resources? The problem now in the Philippines is that we don't have enough resources to maximize digital information, which means that, you know, people in the remote places still don't have access of the technology. Again, our culture also had changed. And when we change the culture, you really have to look into the contribution of our ancestors, okay? And the practices. We look into the best practices. That's the reason why we have this good platform of intellectual exchange to really learn from the sharing of all the, I think, the speakers, okay? Now, so what is leadership? So leadership has been a continuous to be complex and a contested terrain. So leadership is an elusive contract, which I think a lot of leaders may have different definition of what leadership is. So we might have the concept of transformational leadership. We might have the concept of leadership that is something charismatic in nature, bureaucratic leadership. So these are the leadership essentials that we have. So in the Philippines, I was able to conduct a study and I came up with one leadership essential and I call it as panoramic leadership. Okay, so leading change requires creating experience for people to reveal new possibilities. So we have to change, but we have to reveal new possibilities and look into some strategies, optimizing the culture of the organization while making an investment to drive academic growth simultaneously. Okay, so the 3 C's in effective change leadership is number one, I'd like to highlight communication. So unsuccessful leaders tended to focus on what behind the change. So when we explain to people the need for change, they would be able to understand that. So we have to communicate it and then collaborate. Okay, that's what we're doing right now. We collaborate people. We bring people together to plan and execute change, which is very critical. And our commitment. Successful leaders made sure their own belief and behavior support change too. Okay, so we have to be committed with our concept of change. So what is the role of managers in change process? So I mentioned a while ago that change is constant and we should know how to handle change. Okay, so to effectively implement change, managers need training and development. So we need this particular platform for us to learn with a lot of probably theories and best practices of great leaders across the globe. So there are key aspects of managing change. the purpose of change. Okay, our also responsibility and willingness to adapt change. We also have to look into the use of theories of management, the structural process elements, and political considerations. Okay, so when we try to look into changing, okay, so we also have to manage emotions and politics. It's very difficult sometimes to implement change because people are resistant to change. So therefore, we have to identify the key influencers in effecting change. Okay, so we map the political landscape of who will be affected by the change and assess influencers' receptiveness to change and engage ourselves with positive and negative skeptics. Okay, so this is one theory I think that will address a particular change management. So this is the dynamic capability theory. Okay, so this would try to look into strategies, okay, our ability to create, extend, or modify resources. It will look into the processes and dynamism of the organization, dynamic capabilities. Another one is this what we call distributed leadership. Okay, it is a conceptual and analytical approach to understanding the work of leadership. So it is concerned with practice rather than the role of the educator. So it builds the capacity for change and improvement. So I'd like to share with you the leadership model in the new normal, which is the distributed leadership, because this is appropriate for agile organization. Okay, it is being required to become digitally mature organizations, and it is something that would look into shared leadership for digital leadership, and also the development of collaboration and distribution of decision making for the digital age and dynamics of distributed leadership practices. So change entails risks, and risk entails mistake. So there are errors, there are mistakes, there are failures in, of course, effective change. So punishing those people who commit error may not be helpful. So what is the meaning of that? We welcome change, we welcome risks, and we welcome mistakes. And you should not create a blame-free learning culture. Okay? Or you should create a blame-free learning culture, which is necessary for successful and sustainable change. So we don't blame the pandemic. Okay? We don't blame COVID-19. Okay, so this is just a phenomenon that would allow us to become a better leader, for us to innovate, okay, and become sustainable in the future. There is also an ethical aspect of managing change. Okay, so ethical and social responsible change contributes to the well-being of all. So you look into the goal of change, the intentions, the process, the access, the outcomes, and consequences of change. So therefore, education and training plays important roles in effective change. Okay, so managing and leading change in the new normal is that take a gut check on your organizational purpose, be prepared to call an audible, engage your people by empowering them to be opportunity scouts, and embrace a new starting line. So we have to engage the stakeholders by connecting with them frequently. We have to establish a continuous communication channel, gather feedback to realign and reinvent, set up a strong reward recognition framework, and focus on the question of what's in it for me. Okay, so the characteristic of leaders, managers of change in the new normal, according to Japan, is number one, we should be agile. Okay, so there's agility, resilience, and adaptability. So these are just characteristics of leaders in the new normal. Okay, we have to be a leader that is very responsive and has a competency for the digital age, and we have to really look into the understanding of the fourth industrial revolution, education 4.0. Now it's of course embracing education 5.0. So thank you. We will not go back to normal anymore. We are just being given the opportunity to stitch new garment, one that fits all humanity and nature. So thank you very much. And I hope you have learned something from my sharing to you this evening. Thank you for the invitation. Mom
Thank,
Garden.
thank you so much, sir, for giving us such an informative lecture on the topic managing and leading change in the new normal. As we all know, because of this pandemic situation, we all have shifted from the offline to the online mode, and number of new things we have learned. So we are having queries. I request the IT team to please unmute Shri Devi. Shri Devi, you are unmuted. You can have your query. As you have raised your hand,
Okay.
it seems like they might be having some technical issue. That's why they might be not be having the query in the audio form. If you are having any query, please drop your message in the chat box. If you are not able to unmute yourself or you are not able to speak.
Yeah, okay, so I would welcome some of the questions that you would like to inquire. I would also want you to invite to become a member of our organization. And thank you, K.I.T.E.S Education, for appointing me as your international advisory board member.
So I have a one question. Which is the biggest change which you've seen in the new normal?
Of course, the biggest change that we have experienced in the new normal is the shift from the traditional learning modality that we have to distance synchronous learning experience, especially in our country. And that we usually did not open classrooms for the past school year, and now we have again another new school year, and still um, lessons are being delivered using synchronous and asynchronous modalities, which we capitalize and maximize the use of internet. And that I think is the biggest leap. But the problem is that not most of our students here have access to technology. So they would still have the traditional printed, but again, these are being done at home. So no face-to-face with the teachers.
That's a big issue nowadays because of this
Yeah.
online platform. Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative lecture. Now I request a next speaker
Thank you very
to
much.
take an opportunity to introduce the Professor Nada, Faculty of Economics, Business and Tourism Split, to share her views. I request her.
Hello, good evening. I'm Nada RATKOVIC from Croatia. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, K.I.T.E for giving this honor and to be here today on this big conference.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here.
Yes, I will not share no presentation because I couldn't put it in just a moment. What will I talk about this topic and about entrepreneurship? So I can say that I am a professor who has a technical degree and also a economic degree, and I think that is something multidisciplinary, so I can watch it from the both sides. So when we are talking about entrepreneurship, we cannot talk about technology. Technology is important for entrepreneurship, and every entrepreneur movement needs technology. But why today? First, I will start with well-being, because the situation today with Corona is hard for everybody, for education, and very, very hard for entrepreneurs all over the world. And first, we must all take care about our well-being and always practice that. What I like to do. I like always said, let's take 3 deep breaths to achieve peace. Before we started anything, we must take a deep breath. Here, what are the challenges? I have a problem here. I'm sorry. Let's focus on the real things what are happening around us. So I will repeat, we need a balance of our mind and our body for every movement, what we do in our job, in our teaching, or anything what we do. Pandemic situation with pandemic changed our education forever. We know that all schools, all faculties, universities all over the world were closed, and we work virtually. And what happened there? Many researchers suggest that this online learning, I hope that it will start now at September, will show us how increase retention of information and how many less time is meaning the changes that coronavirus caused made by his stay. If we are talking about sustainable development goals, we all know that we have 17 SDGs. And if we start from the first, no poverty, no zero hunger, well-being, or at the last, every SDG is incorporated in our work, in our teaching, or at everyone entrepreneur. He must take care about every. How can he have a successful work, or if we talk about decent work and economic growth? What about economic growth? How incorporate others SDGs in economic growth? I think that SDG 8 and 9 for us, for entrepreneurs, for education, if we talk about innovation, infrastructure, these two are they are correlated together. We can talk about GDP or growth if we don't make innovation, and if we don't make a big entrepreneur moving, and that is not depending about us. Why? Because maybe all around the world, every entrepreneur today is fighting for revenue for his job. We see here on the platforms many organizations, and I'm asking every day, what will happen when we go back on the universities, in the schools? People cannot be on these platforms whole day like today, because if you are on online learning, you can be on many events. What will I say? Before COVID, we know that the growth of technology, when I talk about technology, I can again say SDG. Why? Because renewable energy is, how can we talk about renewable energy if we don't mention technology? But there is one positive thing, because we know that to 20-25 years, they are projected about $350 billion for technology. That don't mean only for renewable energy. We know that we must take care about the aims of the Agenda 2030 and how to reach that point. As teachers or professors, we know our role and we know how important we are. I have I have the subject statistics. I teach statistics, and also I have a wonderful subject called business corporate responsibility, and that is what we are talking. And also I teach entrepreneurship, and when we talk about business corporate responsibility, the whole things in that subject is about SDG and other points. Here we want we all every day I try and I ask myself, how will it how it will be when I come back and live in the classroom. Our world, our projects, we must make many projects with this. Every year on the global level, we have the big global project, climate action project, and he will also start in September. Maybe someone will tell, why are you talking about climate action project? Yes, because in that project you have, if you don't have a project case study, if you don't work with your students on that, how can you know the results? How can you know what the students have, their ideas? We must today take care about their we must take care about that our students achieve all of these 17 goals. So how can we do it? It depends about us. I have many projects what I do with my students, and now I will still continue working on one project, and it is really a big project for entrepreneurs. We are making a eco-village, and eco-village which is incorporated, in which we implemented ICT, whole ICT. We make some kind of program, and what will we do with that? We try with that in Croatia. We see the results, and this year our plan is to make a movement a little around. So maybe I do many things here in India. Maybe we can start together and collaborate also with the students on this project. So we are trainers for the future. Everybody of us, somebody can say, oh, I'm an English teacher. Yes, you are an English teacher, but when we talk about leadership, we know that we are all leaders. Who said that an English teacher cannot be a successful entrepreneur, and maybe he can do something better than someone who calls himself an entrepreneur? What are the best challenges for that in the future? What will we say that in the future we can do? We can talk about the Europe dimension, and we can talk about on the global level. In Europe, we have many projects called Erasmus Plus projects, and our students are going on mobility all around Europe. And they go, like example, 20 days, some goes to the month. And for me, as a professor, it is the important things through the study. Why? Because he learns in other country. Who said that we in Croatia are the best teachers? Who said that in India are the best Indians are the best teachers? So when we go on that mobilities, we are trying to find something that we don't have in our country. Mostly of our students after study became entrepreneurs. Why? Because they learn some things in our country and in our studies. But when they go in Europe, like Spain, Portugal, Germany, we are trying, and now I'm also planning in at the end of the September, I'm going to Portugal with my students, 20 days. We must go before, but for coronavirus, we stopped that. We are going on the university, and we are going to learn. We now goes are for ICT, because there we have one institute that have the program that we in Croatia don't have, and they will learn there. And that I said, that is the point of it, not be only in the classroom. Now, I adore researching, I adore numbers, but when you go to learn in the practice, I think that that is the best. And then you can say that you correlate theory and practice, and that is important for our entrepreneurs and for our SDG. Everybody today is talking about sustainable development goals, but we must think in which context are we taking them. If we want, like we are doing our eco village, we know we have our aims. We want renewable energy. We want to reduce inequalities. Why we want to reduce inequality? Because people in the towns have biggest revenue. They work. They have biggest life standard than the people in rural areas. That is the point when we talk about SDGs and when we talk about economy, entrepreneurship, and everything what has what I mentioned before. So this our village and our hypothesis, we make them prove. We get many results, and we will start at the September working that. Why? Because I think that we can help micro entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs, family farms, craftsmen, farmers. What will we provide to them? We will provide them complete IT support. We will provide them customers, business venture, and then we will not, when we get a level and when we make all of that, then we will on that way reduce inequalities. If we talk about health, well-being health, the people in rural areas will have health food. They will eat eco food. So everything in that is correlated, and we will say that we will be then aligned with quality and education. What about education? So if we continue with Corona, we can continue learning, virtual learning, because many universities, many schools are virtual. So they have all circumstances to learn also like in a big town. So I make this, I didn't want to make a presentation classical. If I make a classical presentation, I will attach only one point. Now I want to talk about all and make that correlation for us, because we all are learning. We must first learn about some kind of action. Then we go and learn through action. That what I mean through action, that is what are we doing? How can we implement each SDG in our work? And also we must learn from action, because if we make some things and don't make it on the correct way, that is for us learning. That means that we learn from action. So I will finish here. If anybody have questions, please. I'm open for them. Maybe I can say one sentence yet. We will achieve sustainable mobility, renewable energy, urban-rural linkages that is correlated with bio and circular economy, with social innovations, agriculture, food, environmental sustainability, dignitization, according the innovatives of our village. And we will have all economic issues, job opportunities, and we will have a limited profession selection, and we will have biggest incomes, maybe better incomes than in the city, but we know that now we have low income, and everybody's aim today is to have a biggest income, I mean a biggest revenue, according and living and trying to transform the world, living the sustainability.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your live projects with us. Because sometimes it happens that we are not getting the product a proper knowledge from a particular thing, but from a live project we gain a number of knowledge as it penetrates directly towards us. And now we are having the question and answer round. If anybody is having any queries, you are able to have your query in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself. We are having a person has raised his hand, Sonotan.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
hello,
please.
is somebody to
Hello,
me?
ma'am.
Hello.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me the opportunities to ask the question. I have a question. Can I ask now?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I would like to know what advice would you give to college students or graduates who want to become entrepreneurs?
Who wants to be entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Oh, yes. First, if they want to be entrepreneurs.
Yes, especially college graduates.
Can you please repeat?
Hello. What advice would you give to college students who want to become entrepreneurs?
Okay, okay. That was my conclusion from this. Yes. First, we know all that we must start from our idea to the realization. In that context, I could give an example. I don't know on the college or where you are teaching, but we must have a subject called training firms. Why training firms? That is a colleague. Colleague that you are learning from starting. You start from today we are on this big platform, and we know that K.I.T.E.S wants to make is taking care about education. I want to have a eco village, and that is where we start. We start from the beginning. Our students must to learn how to make a business plan, complete a business plan, how to make a marketing plan, 4P, promotion, product. So there are many steps. How can somebody start and how can you be a good entrepreneur if you don't know that? Nobody today, somebody can have a big organization and for me, he must know, he must have entrepreneur's competencies. Why? Because nobody will care about your business like you. And so today, our students must, to be entrepreneurs, they must be multidisciplinary. What that means? They must know accounting. First thing is accounting. Somebody will say, how can I know accounting if I am a teacher, a professor of electronics? Yes, but today, to be a successful entrepreneurship, you must know all things. That is the problem today. That is the problem today because nobody will take care about your work if you don't know that. That I
Yes.
mean. So you must put many maybe somebody will say, why in informatics? But you must put in every subject some parts of that. So maybe here you can put promotion, production, distribution, accounting, finance. Everything of that is important. And entrepreneur will never be a successful entrepreneur if he don't know that. That is a problem today. And that is why is entrepreneur must learn lifelong learning, and our students must have that. And that is what I'm talking about. In every field, it can in every field, students can start from idea to a realization. Did I help? Did I answer? Did I must say anything else? Did you
Thank you, ma'am.
understand me, Professor Sonatan?
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind information. Thank you.
Ma'am, we are having one more question in our chat box. The question is from Joseph. You touched on people across the nation going in this realm. My question is on reducing the great city village divided in India due to the vastness of different people groups. I repeat the question again. Yes, ma'am. The person is Joseph. They are saying that you touched on people across the nation growing in this realm. And the question is on reducing the great city village divide in India due to the vastness of different people groups.
Different people groups. What it has with I don't know what means that different group.
Can you please clear your question again, Joseph? And it seems like it's incomplete. I request the IT department to please unmute him.
Gulin ma'am, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What I meant, Ms. RATKOVIC, is that India is a very vast thing. Of course, it's becoming global, but the vastness of India is, even in the British time when they tried to help the Indians to, with Western education, there was resistance. Now I'm talking about the great village, tribal, and the city. Cities are much more in infrastructure, we are better. But how best should we address the divide in infrastructure, technology, available technology, meaning the soft skills also. We understand the teachers have to take it on themselves, but how best do we we bridge the gap between the urban areas and the rural areas? So yeah, that is one of my things. There are a lot of policies, good policies by the government, but somehow the village, they are not inferior as a citizen. But how best to do that? I would like, maybe from some experience of yours, ma'am. Thank you.
So in Croatia, we have a good policy for that. We for our micro and micro entrepreneurs, there are good financial supports, and also what is here good. Here is good when you look from the history. Many people from our villages. I can say are villages that we have electricity, we have water. They are not the villages without that. So we can start with that because we have first water and electricity, and we don't have maybe I see here in India that rural places, and but we are a little different by that, and we really can get help from our government, and many we have many supports for young entrepreneurs and for making that, and also in Europe, we can apply for. We have many big projects and many grants that we can apply for them. So people are using that. I don't know here in India, do you have that opportunity to get big financial support for doing that? I'm watching that, I'm reading, I'm looking how the villages look at. Yes, when you say it is easy to, we are really, our idea is excellent, but is maybe, as you said, maybe it is not, maybe we cannot use that here. Maybe we have maybe in India, uh, we must use something else. We don't have the same living conditions. That I mean now is the difference. Because in my county where I live, uh, we have that rural parts have rivers, mountains. So we can go on the field, agriculture. We can make agriculture. We can go on tourism. So we have a good geographical position. Also, we have the sea, and we can make, I said, rafting, and so many. It is different when I look in the Croatian part called. We have 22 counties. When I looked in one part, uh, I can say poorest is Lika. And what can you see when you go through Lika? You can see some people, entrepreneurs in Lika, are having cows. So we must do, if we want some kind of entrepreneurs work, we must see what is the best for the part we live. So in India, maybe in one part of India is best to, I don't know, to mango. The another part is for tourism. So that is different. So, but if you have a group of students and have many ideas, you can make ideas. So you first we must, like professors, we must know what will be the best. That I can now say for the rural parts in India because I don't know many about that. But I know
Thank
what
you
you
very,
think.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering. I would like to add point over here. what I think is like we are having number of opportunities for the rural area in the case of entrepreneurship in India, but the thing is lack of knowledge. People are not getting that proper knowledge. It might be happening because of illiteracy, but on the other hand, the villages are coming up with such a great ideas in the field of entrepreneurship that we can even think about it.
Yes, yes. We must, every idea must be realized, and problem is how to make it realized, how to come to the
Yes,
end.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's the big thing. So, with this, thank you so much, ma'am, for such an
Thank
informative
you.
lecture. Now, the KITES education in access the panel, who has hardly needed any introduction. You have made all us proud of your distinguished work in numerous fields. You are one of the most celebrated foreign services dignitaries. So now, the time for the panel discussion. The topic is role of innovation and entrepreneurial skills in school education to prepare students for the future. Now I request today's moderator, Dr. Priya Trivedi, Head Academics and Department of Science, Madhya Pradesh, to take the conference on the another level. Over to you, ma'am. You are unmuted, ma'am. Dr. Priya, you're not audible. Dr. Priya, you are not audible. It seems like there's some technical error. Meanwhile, if anybody having any query from the eternity,
Now I'm audible, ma'am?
yes, yes, ma'am. Now you are audible. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Gulin, ma'am. Thank you to all the eminent speakers who had talked on such a informative and current topic. Thank you, all of you. Now, starting with the next panel discussion. Good evening to all and to one and all. I, Dr. Priya, Head Academic and Department of Science, Compfeeder ISECT College of Professional Studies, Indore, on behalf of KITES Education and Yuva IncubatED, welcome you all on the panel discussion, and topic is of innovation and entrepreneurial skills in school education to prepare the students for the future. You know, this is really a very current topic, and this is the era of education and education. So as we all know that the entrepreneurship education cultivates innovative talents which are important driving force for the future development. So before start with the healthy discussion, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our guest of honor from different countries who came to one platform to achieve one goal. So starting with the first guest of speaker, Sheikh Sir, who is principal from Bahadur Technical School and College, Bangladesh. Sir, welcome to you. Jibran Ali Khan, sir, Executive Director, Socio Engineering Technologies, City, Islamabad, Pakistan. Sir, welcome you. Dunia Rana ma'am, teacher, educator, Shanti Shiksha Mandir Secondary School, Kathmandu, Nepal. Ma'am, welcome you. Dr. Iqbal sir, Director Training, Collaboration and IPR Cell, Acharya Institution, Bangalore, Karnataka, India. Welcome to you, sir. Baba Tunde, A sir, Academic Director, BAPS, Michael International Texas, United States. So welcome to you. And last but
Thank
not
you.
the least, Calvin sir, you are looking so smart today. CEO, Ogba Educational Clinic, Delta, Nigeria. So welcome you all. And
Thank you.
before start the session, I have some queries and the questions also in front of you to move forward with the same. First of all, I just want to know how the entrepreneurship importance to the student and how they will help students to move in their career. The second question is, what effective role can the entrepreneurship education play for a suitable future? What is the role of innovation in developing skills among the students? So with this, I'll start with the JIBRAN sir. Sir, please throw light on the same, and then we will move forward with all the speakers today to discuss on the same topic. Sir, welcome to you again. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Priya. Thank you for giving this opportunity to speak about entrepreneurship and the role of innovation in education. Coming out to your first question, that what's the importance of entrepreneurship for students? We must understand that in this world right now, because of the crisis, COVID-19 crisis, we are facing a lot of job depletions, a lot of economic problems. In that case, we need to prepare our students, our youth, our next generation to be able to be enough capable to sustain themselves in the economic toughness that is thrown out to us, especially in the Eastern world. So if a student, if a young youth or a new generation is capable of learning entrepreneurship, which just not means entrepreneurship is just not one thing, which means a lot of skill sets in the back end to make sure that he or she is individually capable enough to put themselves.
I request you all to mute themselves. सभी लोग अपना mute कर लीजिए mic so that we can have a healthy discussion. Requested to everyone. Yeah.
So when we talk about entrepreneurship for students, I just want to go back a bit to the grassroots level. So because when we say that we need to have entrepreneurship, what's the importance of entrepreneurship in students and education, we need to also understand that we need to strengthen the foundation itself, which is producing the students itself. So that means the school education itself, the school, the teachers, the administration, the whole program itself needs to be strengthened. The whole program itself needs to understand the need of the hour, which is entrepreneurship, which is soft skills, which is capacity building, which is to be able to critical think. So when these things come around, when we will be able to equip our teachers, our administration, our program
in the same
itself.
context, I would like to ask from Dr. Iqbal sir. Sir is very experienced director. So what is the role of the teacher in the entrepreneurship? How they can motivate the students for the same? Dr. Iqbal sir, are you there?
Yeah.
Sir, yeah.
I'm very much there. Good evening, everybody. And good evening to Dr. Priya. Dr. Priya, can I just speak on both innovation and entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So you can continue.
Okay, good. Thank you all very much. I think it's wonderful to see a host of speakers, a galaxy of speakers from all over the world. Okay. And I have touched upon some of the things. I would just like to repeat some of the things. Okay. Now, first of all, let me tell you, education is the passport to prosperity and opportunity. And education enables individuals to become academics. Education enables individuals to become entrepreneurs. Education enables people to become business government leaders. All these things are there. Now, why do we need to innovate? Now, what do you mean by innovation? Now, see, I don't want to get into the gamut of innovation. See, because there is a wrong concept that you need to create some new idea. Okay, so I just want to say that it is not only creating new ideas, but also working on some existing ideas and changing the system or changing the way the things are happening. That is also innovation.
Yeah, sir, exactly.
Okay, so now see, innovation basically, why I'm touching upon innovation first is that it is a specific tool of the entrepreneurs. Okay, and the Indian, let me inform the other speakers that see, Indian education system is the third largest in the world next to USA and China. But as far as the number of educational institutions are concerned, we are the largest. Okay. And let me tell you that there are a lot of things. See, first of all, why do we need to innovate? We need to innovate because things around us are all changing. Things are evolving. When I did my engineering, things were all different. Okay, now digital tools have come to the fore, and the way we teach, the pedagogy has changed. Okay, and people are using digital tools. See, this pandemic has enabled a lot of things. Digital tools have come to the fore. In India, in Western countries, I've seen, yes, digital tools were being used, but in India, it was only one-to-one learning. But now hybrid learning has come to the fore, online learning has come to the fore, experiential learning, all these things, problem-based learning has come to the fore, which are all innovations that have happened because of the pandemic. So I would say the pandemic was a boon as far as the digital tools were concerned.
Exactly. Sir, I just want to know about from the same Baba Tunde sir, and I request all the speakers if you can start your video so that all can visible with each other and can see the faces of each other. So discussion will be more healthy. So Baba Tunde sir.
Okay, thank you for the privilege and opportunity to do this. I want to appreciate the team. It's a good job. You guys are doing very well. So first and foremost, I want to say the greatest innovation we can bring to education is entrepreneurship. So if we're talking about entrepreneurship, it is the first innovation that we can introduce into education. And that is going to be solving a lot of problems in the future. One of the problems that is globally recognized is unemployment. We are producing graduates that are not getting jobs. So what entrepreneurship will do is to produce people that can start businesses on their own. So it's the first innovation we can do. Introduce it into the syllabus in schools. It's not just going to learn the sciences, the arts, and the administration. You've got to put entrepreneurship into school or curriculum. I run a school in Nigeria. I'm in the United States at the moment. I run a school in Nigeria, and we have added entrepreneurship into part of the training. We call it EDP. Entrepreneurship Development Program. So when students graduate, instead of looking for a job, they can start up business. Even if they get employed, entrepreneurship knowledge can be used to move the business forward. So as a student, if you have understanding of entrepreneurship, you can function anywhere. So we're talking about the future. The real innovation in education is putting entrepreneurship into curriculum. Let students be aware that they need to become business-like. They need to be entrepreneurial. They need to think. Because entrepreneurship will make them think like a business owner. So anywhere they're working in, they're going to be making the business move forward, and they're going to be thinking like a business owner. And in addition, they're going to be owning business in the future. You've got to learn. It's not all about sitting in class and learning sciences.
But I think, sir, in curriculum, it is added. In BSc, in graduation level, I think it is added that in syllabus. So I would like to listen something from Calvin, sir, from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Sir, what did you think about that? Sir, you can on your video also. If possible, all can on your video. Yeah. Over to you, Calvin, sir. Calvin, sir. Yeah. Good evening, sir. Welcome to you. So you can unmute your audio. Yes, sir.
Hello.
You can continue. Yeah. So you can continue.
So when we talk about entrepreneurship and innovation in today's world, we'll find out that lots of things have changed when it comes to doing jobs. For instance, in my country today, what we see are tricycles and women selling similar articles and making no profit. This is as a result of lack of investment on the right kind of education. Today, we have seen that artificial intelligence is causing a monstrous change in terms of work displacement. And some countries are already testing on UBI, which is the Universal Basic Income. So we can see that precision jobs, a lot of jobs will be displaced, and that future jobs will be all about working with the robot. So we have to renovate, make some changes in our educational system to reflect the present reality. And when we talk about An entrepreneur is someone who goes to far extent to see that he's able to invest into the future to see how work will look like. As for us in our clinic here at the Ogba Educational Clinic, we decided to start training kids on future job skills and how to work with the robot, because our conventional courses ain't going to be providing the needed jobs again, because lots of jobs will be wiped out as a result of the fourth industrial revolution. So we're having things like training people on IoT and the use of technology. I decided to do something with our women here. A lot of women are into business, but they do business in mundane way. They could still spend hours in the bank to make certain transfers to their children. Why they do that? They lock up their shop. So we decided to run a program of encouraging women to embrace the use of internet technology in doing their business. When we did that, we decided to train them on how to use internet. Any business that is not on the internet will eventually die. We decided to look at two sets of people: Donald Trump, the ex-US president, and Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook. What we saw is that while one has been in business for almost 7 decades, another has been in business for barely 3 to 4 decades. And if you compare their wealth, you will see that Mark Zuckerberg is 10 times that of Donald Trump. What am I bringing here? I'm trying to show to you that while one has a business on the internet, the other one has a business on real estate. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, there must be innovation and the...
Sir, I would like to listen something from Sheikh, sir. Sir is the principal, Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, please throw light on something for the startup for our students also. So how can they move?
Starting the name of Allah, greetings and congratulations on behalf of my institution, Bahadurpur Technical School and College, to all the guests, presenters, and guesters present here. I am Sheikh Mohammad Rakibul Islam, founder principal of Bahadurpur Technical School and College, founder and managing director Sheikh Rifat Agro Limited. I am working all over Bangladesh to create entrepreneur in the field of education. My consultancy is providing free advice and various service to entrepreneur. I am now presenting my suggestion and statements of innovation and entrepreneurship in school education. An entrepreneur is a businessman who thinks of new business that no one has done before, or bring an old business to the people in new form. He makes a complete plan to how to start a new business, run it, and now much money he will spend in any sector, how much he will profit from it. The main qualities of successful entrepreneur are that he can work hard for a long time. He will present his new idea to the investor in simple and effective way, in such a way that it seems necessary and attractive. When that investor sees the idea as diverse, then the investor will allocate resources according to skill and manpower. When we look at the great entrepreneurs who have succeeded in the world, we see that they see human problems and their own problems. In solving their problems, they have thought about the benefit of the people, how to solve the problems. Think about how many people benefit from solving problems. In this way, entrepreneurs have come forward to meet the needs of others. For example, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, could not communicate with his classmates who came to read from different parts of the world. Again, many of their classmates could not come and meet their relatives. He noticed all this and created a platform where his friends and relatives could be easily contacted for a distance.
That's great, sir. Sir, I would like to listen something from ma'am also. Ma'am is with us from Nepal. Ma'am, are you there?
Sure. At
Rana
present,
ma'am. Yeah, sir, we have. Yeah, ma'am. You are audible. Yeah, ma'am.
Sheikh Mohammed Rokibul
Okay,
Islam.
okay, thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much. First of all, good evening, all my respected K.I.T.E education team and all
Yeah.
my respected educators. I am Minmay Rana from Nepal, and I am a teacher. I am also social worker in this Nepal to women empowerment.
Welcome, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Today I am very happy to give some experience in teaching activities in the learning to the students. Uh, so, first of all, we can say that, um, but sorry, today I have joined from desktop, so I have no web camera. So sorry.
Okay, ma'am. I would like to ask something from the audience. Did you want to ask anything from our speakers, eminent speakers? If you have any questions, you can put up.
Now can I start, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay. I am a teacher, but I can say I am a learner. I am not a teacher because teachers are all learners also. So education is a life, and education is also human activities, and education is also social activities, and education is the process of the growth. So teacher is the supreme ma'am of the school, social and intellectual personality, and teacher respect the
Exactly,
teacher.
ma'am. Without teachers, we can't move forward, isn't it?
Okay,
I
okay.
think all the
So,
speakers will agree with me.
okay, only start, ma'am.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Nepal has suspended their academic activities by closing the school and college, and some attempts are being made to overcome this gap by providing the virtual class to the students. But such efforts are also being proven the inaccessible and the challenging, especially for the poor students residing in the remote part of the country in the Nepal. So only 30% school are in the online education because there are many poor students in Nepal. 23% people are in poverty. The Sustainable Development Goals says that regarding the practical process where acquiring of the psychomotor skill by the student in the mandatory together with the other cognitive and effective skill, and also virtual online classes remain effective in the education sector. So I also said that because I am a teacher, so I can say that students should be we can teach student center but not a teacher center. So technology and innovative skill is most important for the communication skill to the student, and in the future life, in the child are in the future, and he or she to get the more chance to get the teacher and doctor, engineer, every way to go through that. So we can say that education is most important for all level, not only student but all educators. It is the most important. So first of all, we can say that students should be teacher always, not a teacher but facilitator, friendly, and also like a friend with a student in when we can teach in the
Ma'am, I
learning
will excuse
activities.
you. In the
Yes.
same context, I have got one question from the group. How have children been rehabilitated post-lockdown? Anyone from the panelists can reply for the same. As you all know that pandemic was everywhere and we all were affected by the same. So how this entrepreneurship, or how the students, those who are getting not getting the jobs, they have education but not getting the job, so how they can overcome with the same? Anyone, sir? Sheikh sir, Iqbal sir, you can unmute yourself.
Well, I would like to answer.
Yeah, sir.
Just 1
Yeah,
minute, I
sir.
think.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, yeah, previously, I think I was trying to complete my points. I was not able to complete. Anyway, now I'll ask you, answer your specific questions. See, the
Yeah.
pandemic provided a lot of opportunities that were not there. And many of the people who were not entrepreneurs, they came up as entrepreneurs. Okay, there was a lot of demand for various types of equipments. And you will not believe it. See, COVID-19, what it did was, what happened is there was a demand. See, no, people used to sell directly. Now, what happened is all the shops were closed. So they had to innovate. So they came out with what is called as creative destruction, creative accumulation. So a lot of things started happening. There was a demand for vacuum cleaning robots, disinfection robots, accumulators. A lot of people started inventing. So that was the period. You see, an Australian-based professional drone company, they came out with Dragonfly. Okay, then medical ventilators, this thing, and a lot of vaccines started developing. I think this was ample opportunity, and the government of India also provided various, what you call, I'm not getting the word. Okay, I think various this thing for people who could come out with some new things.
Exactly,
Okay.
sir. So Sheikh sir was saying something. So you want to continue? Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, there are 3 types of entrepreneurs. 1 business entrepreneur, 2 social entrepreneur, 3 creative entrepreneur. When a person creates his own employment through business and creates another's employment in his own organization, we call him a business entrepreneur, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world. Entrepreneurs are instrumental in expanding trade and commerce in the country, solving the problems of unemployment and creating a strong economy in the country. A country economic employment, poverty alleviation, investment, foreign exchange, earning, technology exchange, etc. Largely depend on the business entrepreneur. Social entrepreneurship is very important for society. Social service organization such as NGOs, foundations, missions, trust, organization, etc. Dedicated.
Sir, exactly, sir. Sir, Ali sir, I just want to know what was the impact of COVID in Pakistan?
Well,
about the
I'm
job.
from Bangladesh.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. Bangladesh.
I'm from Bangladesh.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, can I say something to the pandemic innovations and entrepreneurship? So I want to say, basically, I saw somebody wrote it on the chat box that though there is pandemic, that I still prefer education to be physical, one-on-one interaction with students. We understand that that's the best of education. We got to have interaction with the student. It's normally the best way of learning, but we've got to innovate from there. Since pandemic, even before pandemic, we should have been maximizing the use of technology. You know, I had a lot of innovations that is going on. I want to appreciate everyone doing great job anywhere in the world. You know, somebody talking about robots, someone talking about different things, and that is how education should be. Innovation should come out, and that's why we encourage entrepreneurship. And aside that, teachers, lecturers themselves should also develop entrepreneurship characteristics, because when students are learning to become entrepreneurs and lecturers themselves are not, we're going to be looking as if we are not informed. It basically means if you are throwing entrepreneurship concept to students, all lecturers, teachers must have the mindset of an entrepreneur. If you have a mindset of an entrepreneur, you can pass your message properly to students. So greatest innovation, we need to maximize the technology. That gave birth to a lot of entrepreneurship. People develop apps. You know, a lot of things happen. Like mentioned some part in Nigeria, the only problem we have with pandemic education is where we have remote areas that are not developed. How can they access the technology? That is where we should look into now. How do we solve that problem? I know in Nigeria, then they make use of radios, you know, people listen to radio, but that is not the maximum level of learning. People cannot access basic technological tools. What is the way forward for that? I'm throwing a question also, but that's the only challenges that we have when it comes to innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship among students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your suggestion and thought. Calvin, sir, what did you think about the same? Did you think this was the opportunity for all of us? and then students can move forward for the with this pandemic, and then can overcome with new startups. Can you summarize? Are you able to hear?
Hi, Priya, I would like to say something as well.
Yeah, sir. Continue.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a few things because I was cut down in the middle. I would just, what Baba Tunde said, I would really agree with him. The basic cause is to fix foundation at first. We are making entrepreneurs, but the people who are making entrepreneurs do not know how to make the entrepreneurs in the first place. So we also need to fix that as well. And with entrepreneurship comes a lot of skill sets as well. Just not entrepreneurship is just a word which has a lot of skill sets in it. And at the same time, when Dr. Iqbal said that COVID-19 brought a lot of opportunities, I would totally 100% agree, because COVID-19 forced us a decade ahead of our times and made us realize that we have to compete in the market. We have to take over things. We have to innovate. We have to think in order to survive. It was survival of the fittest in all economic and social, in the mode. So I would completely agree with Dr. Iqbal on that as well. And when Kelvin said that we need to address specific areas of education, how to disseminate that education in terms of e-learning, and what to disseminate, that's very important as well. So if you are training someone to become an entrepreneur and be innovative, you need to understand what being innovative or how to promote innovation is in the first place, so that we have to understand innovation itself, not just the word, the basic theoretical thing of itself, then go towards the practicality. And obviously India, Pakistan, all the South Asian countries, they had this liberty to make sure that they excel in this market, which they did. Some were getting ventilators, some were making masks, some were making sanitizers, some were making robots, just like Dr. Iqbal mentioned. So this is very important. So entrepreneurship is the key to success for the youth of this coming generation or the coming era. But at the same time, it is our social responsibility and it is our ethical responsibility to make sure that the tools, that the information that they're getting are actually useful and actually effective at the time and when they will be entering the market, not at the time when we are in the market, when they are. So that's the future skills. We need to get them future skill ready. So this is what I was trying to say in the start. I'll be happy to let Kelvin speak now. I think he's got his mic on now.
Yeah. Kelvin, sir, you can continue. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I think the conversation is going, the discussion is going so healthy, and we are all getting a very information from all of you, and I mean the speakers from all of the other countries also. And I think this online platform has given us the opportunity to meet here, to talk, to interact, and we can move forward with all the possibilities we can. Kelvin, sir, are you here? We'd like to hear something from you.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, sir.
I'm happy about the way the conversation is going. We'll get to learn about entrepreneurship in different ways, in different cultures. I'm also happy for this platform to speak. But basically, it is also very good we continue to enlighten our people about the fact about the changing scape as we enter into a system of automation. We're actually in the fourth industrial revolution, whereby everything is powered by intelligent machines. So when we talk about entrepreneurship here, we must talk about entrepreneurship as it relates to the use of intelligent machines, how it will aid us in doing our business. When we talk about something like machine learning, we'll be able to understand what the customer's needs are. And you can see these great entrepreneurs like the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, the Mark Zuckerberg. These are people that actually invest so much on smart technology, artificial intelligence. So for a budding young entrepreneur, I think the most distinguishing factor about my business or my clinic here in Warri, Nigeria, is the fact that we leverage on technology a lot. We get tutors from abroad because we believe that AI can give the same quality education available in Harvard to the poor people here in Warri. So that's my take on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I just want to know कि through this platform, online platform, through Yuva IncubatED, जिन्होंने this create करा है ये सारा panel discussion, and आप लोगों को सबको together लाया है all the countries. So did you think this was the fruitful for our students also, and this conversation, this good conversation, healthy conversation and innovative conversation can be put again and again for our students, and we can have an interaction in our schools and at our place also, so that we can have some more new ideas for the entrepreneurship, or for the new idea to create new idea for your areas, our areas, and collaboration work. Did you think so, Dr. Iqbal and Dr. Sheikh sir?
Dr.
Did you
Priya,
think,
I
am
think,
I right?
yeah, Dr. Priya, I think I have not had enough time to complete many things that I wanted to say. See, I think the previous, please don't interrupt me. Let me just try to complete some things.
Sir, you continue. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. See, the previous speaker, he gave a little background. See, when you want to become an entrepreneur, you should know what is happening around you. Okay. Now, see, what is happening is people are using automatic cars. People are using wearable jackets. Okay. Now, wearable jackets also, they had sensors and they were able to predict any critical problem that used to arise. Now, with the advent of artificial intelligence, what is happening is you can predict when the thing is going to happen, when a critical failure is going to appear, happen. You can predict when exactly heart attack is going to happen. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, okay, now all these things, machine learning, deep learning, virtual reality, all these things have come to the fore. So I think in any entrepreneur, you should know that even if it is the education field or the teaching field, he should use the tools that are available, and he should use the technology that is being used. Okay, that is one of the things. I second the thing of the previous speaker. And I think if you can ask me a question later on what are the indicators for innovation in education, I can speak on that later.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Education system. I think.
Okay, we will have some more discussion over this, sir. As time is running out, and we have some more, and you have taken out the topic artificial intelligence, and that topic is really a very good topic to discuss about. And I'll ask our organizer, sir, and Mukesh sir to continue with this session. For same session, we will have some more conversation and panel discussion and conferences, seminars, so that we can have elaborative discussion with the same. I think Sheikh sir I would like to summarize कि सर आप summarize करें आज का जो है panel discussion, and with the other panelists also I would like कि सब एक line में इसको summarize करके then we will go to the end up of this program.
Sustainable development is the sustainable development in the development that is sustainable, and sustainable development is any development or modified work without harming the environment for the next generation to live healthy and well. The United States has announced the SDG 2030 agenda to ensure peace, prosperity, and sustainable development for people around the world. Includes a total of 17 targets and 179 specific targets. If we want to make the world peaceful, free from poverty, create employment, eliminate inequality, development and literature, create a sustainable world for future generation, implement SDGs, then these three categories of entrepreneurs have no choice. These three categories of entrepreneurs are critical to sustainable development of any state. Sustainable progress is not possible without one. Therefore, entrepreneur should be considered as sustainable development and driving force in the world, and the same time create a conducive environment for all classes of entrepreneurs, big and small, and give them a chance to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheikh sir. Thank you so much, Iqbal sir. Sir, I would like to continue with the JIBRAN sir. Sir, would you like to summarize this?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, in order for us to achieve a sustainable development or a sustainable environment in the future, we need to just make sure that we create enough friendly and understandable and communicatable information world around us. And it doesn't have to be on a nationality basis, it has to be on a global level, so that every youth that is coming into the market is able to compete and is able to stand on its own, her, himself, whatever you want to call, on their own, so that they can, take on the world and be effective and make something out of them for themselves, and be also positive and productive for the global economy as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Baba Tunde sir, I would like to request you to please do summarize for the same. Over to you, sir.
All right. Basically, in summary, I want to say innovation and entrepreneurship are two things that is important for education globally, anywhere you're operating from. So two things I will say. First and foremost, we need to begin entrepreneurship training from the lower grade. Somebody said that from the start, that we should not just focus on the high class student, the private students. We should start it from the lower class. The primary, depending on how the grades of education run in your country, the high school students, entrepreneurship should begin to exist in their curriculum, not only in the universities and in other institutions. We should start it from the foundation, making them understand entrepreneurship. Some of them are not even go to the university at the long run, but from what they've learned about entrepreneurship, they can start a business at a very younger age. They don't need to be 20, they don't need to be 15 before they can start business. It is for us informing them. Then teachers also need to be equipped. We need to train teachers. I belong to an association in the United States of America. We call it the Center for Teachers Effectiveness. I'm an associate trainer with them. We train teachers how to become good teachers that will impart entrepreneurship knowledge, classroom management, and all that. We train teachers here in the United States. That is one of the projects I'm taking back to Nigeria to help African teachers. We develop them. Teachers can think like entrepreneurs and teach students, develop students in their classroom, so that we ourselves, we are entrepreneurs in our way. Our students are entrepreneurs. They are innovating. Classroom management and all that are the new things that are happening. And I think with that, we're going to be moving to a better future for our students. Thank you so much for this privilege and opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Calvin, sir, over to you.
Yes, I want to tell them that entrepreneurship is all about problem solving, and they should be ready to solve problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Minmaya ma'am, ending with you with this conversation. Please do summarize.
Hello.
Yeah, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sustainable development goals have 70 goals, and education is a 3 number in these goals. So it supports the generation of the development opportunity through inclusive education and the decent work. That is my last. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, ending with this session. Thank you so much, all the eminent speakers and organizers for giving the opportunity. Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Priya, can I just add a few points, Dr. Priya?
Sir, only 1 minute is remaining. You can continue.
See,
Up to you.
I just want to add one thing. See, the government of India has come out, has innovated education by coming out with the National Education Policy. The basic points are this. One is increase in international footprints, innovation index. Okay. Now, innovation index, let me tell you, it is measured by the number of IPRs that you generate. Internationalization of student mobility, NIRF ranking, better quality of education, globally competitive or choice-based credit system. Okay. And then one more thing, let me add. See, entrepreneurship does not mean bringing out a product when it pertains to education. It is prevention of early school leaving, like the gross enrollment ratio in India. We are trying to build it up to about 50%. At present, we are very low. Okay, so this is about entrepreneurship because we're not connecting innovation and entrepreneurship with education. That is what we're doing. And see, entrepreneurship education is basically to provide a framework for learning environment and assignment in such a way that the students can see the practical side of the knowledge that they gain. So basically, this is entrepreneurship as far as education is concerned. I don't want to continue because I think we are short of time. So basically, I think we had somehow missed the bus by not connecting these things to education. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gurleen ma'am. Thank you, all of you. If I have interrupted you and you are disheartened, please sorry. As the time, there is a boundary of the time and I have to complete in the time. That's why.
Thank you all the panelists and Dr. Priya for being a chairperson today. And now I really want to appreciate all the panelists that this discussion has gone out of the world because number of minds are there and the time is really short. So really sorry for interrupting you all. Now, next we are looking forward for the presence of Dr. Elizabeth, author, inspirational speaker, entrepreneur, youth mentor, and global advisor, United Kingdom. You are welcome on the platform and brighten us with your information. Dr. Elizabeth.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon from United Kingdom. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. Firstly, I want to appreciate I just want to appreciate for inviting me to come and speak at this occasion. And as we all celebrating and also discussing about the Sustainable Development Goals. And we are all here to share our views, and we believe that we all want change, and that is why we are here. So my name is Dr. Elizabeth Lucas, the founder of Yes You Can International. I'm an inspirational speaker, author of a book called Yes You Can, and I'm also a mentor to our youth. And I'm glad that we are all discussing about our youth here, and we are discussing about how we can prepare for their future. So let me just continue. I won't stay too long. I'll just quickly try to use the little time. I want to appreciate the organizers of this event and also appreciate K.I.T.E president and all the board members. Thank you very much for inviting me. And also I want to welcome everyone, all the distinguished speakers and all of us, including me, to this platform. President Barack Obama said that change will not come if we wait for other people or the other time we are the one we have been waiting for. And we are the change we seek. The reason why I started with this program is because we are all still talking about the change in our education system, change in economic, change in our unemployment, and also change in our lifestyle. Malcolm X said that a man who stands for nothing will fail for anything. Jim Ross said, for things to change for you, we've got to change, otherwise it won't change. We need to stop the blame, be accounted, and we need to take responsibility, be manageable, and change our mindset. The job is for every one of us. If we want the policies to change, we have to change. If we want the government system to change, then there should be a change mindset. But the question I ought to ask myself this afternoon is, why is mindset important? And why do you need a change mindset? Because if we don't change ourselves, if we don't change our mind, nothing will be done. We can talk from January to December, from morning till evening, but if we don't determine ourselves for change, nothing will happen. So mindset is everything. It is a powerhouse. It is either a barrier or doorway to our destiny. And we need to really renew our mindset. Yes, we are talking about education, and we are also talking about economy. What a coincidence for two, because you can't go to school for many years and then coming out and there is no job. And between me and you, we can all experience and see exactly that is the problem in the whole world. Many people are graduated, educated, some certain level, but coming out from school, sitting down at home for many years, no job. And that is where the frustrations comes in. That is where the violence, the abuse, the war, everything is upside down in the world. And that is why it is expensive. It is very essential that we continue to talk about it, and we continue to act on it, and we continue to change. But my question this afternoon is, some of us, we might be privileged to have all these access to economy. Access to technology. We might have access to that, this and that. But some people in a rural area, what are we thinking? What are we saying? What are we planning about them? Because it is okay for half of the country to enjoy the facilities. But what about those? I'm talking about people in the rural area, people that doesn't have access to the computer, people that doesn't have access to so many resources. And they have the right to be educated, and they have the right to be employed. So I just want to encourage us also this afternoon to let us know that we are all doing it together. Many people have blamed the government. Many people have blamed our parents. Many people have blamed even the richest one. But I'm here to let you know that we all have to take responsibility. And that is why I appreciate this conference, because one of the responsibilities that we are all taking is to come and share our views, because no one knows it all. We are all learning every day, and we are learning to change, and we are learning to change our mindset. It is very important. The way we do things in the olden days is far, far, far better. It's totally different. Yes, there is economy. Yes, there is education for all. But in the olden days, the population we have now is far, far bigger and larger than the olden days. And that is why we come up with this. Then another mindset that I want to throw to us today. We limit ourselves in terms of education. Many people where I come from, Nigeria, they are into 4 walls. Number one, you have to be doctor, you have to be lawyer, you have to be accountant, and you have to be engineer. But these days, we need to change. Every one of us cannot be a lawyer. Every one of us cannot be a doctor. And even, who told you that even if you don't study doctor, you cannot even know about the medicine, you can't know about this. We are all learning every day. So we need to come outside this box, think outside the box, and know that every profession on earth is valuable. Even cooking is valuable. Cleaning is valuable. I am opportune to be in the United Kingdom, where they will even tell you that as a cleaner, you need to go for NVQ training to get a certificate. As somebody that is cooking, you have to go for some training. You can't just open a shop now and say you want to start cooking and selling. You have to go through a training and also meet the policy, the requirement for you to open a food shop. This is what we are talking about. But this thing has to be spread. We all have to have a new mindset that is not only that 4 walls of things. It's good that people study, but you need to study according to your own ability. When I was in Nigeria, 2 things I learned. I learned that many students don't even know a single topic. A single statement from what they've used. They've spent 5 years to study. Why? Because all what they do is cramming, and they are focusing on passing, and they are focused in coming of the certificate. Certificate is not enough. You need to understand it to apply it. And that is why all this unemployment is all about. Because if you apply it, you being an educator doesn't mean that you have to focus on one line. You can use the chemistry to produce one. You can use knowledge of biology to even to help other personal development. That is what we are thinking. So our process, our curriculum, our policy in the school needs to be changed. People need to be widening, not narrowing their knowledge, so that when they come out of school, they will be able to apply their skills in different ways. Let me take, for example, before, if you pass all your A levels, then you'll be able to go to pass it well. You'll be able to go to University of Oxford and chemistry and University of Oxford and Cambridge. But now things have changed. 10 years ago, they changed it. How? They don't want somebody to just pass. They want it to be full of different skills so that it's not what you study alone that you will be valuable for the country. So that is what we are talking about. These things need to change. That is not for you to study and narrow your brain, narrow yourself. You need to be prepared to learn skills so that even if you don't get a job in one skill, you'll be able to get a job in another skill. I've seen some people, they were graduated, they studied engineer, but now they end up being a photographer. Yes, there's nothing bad in it. You just have to adopt it and accept it and embrace what is on the system. There's opportunities around us. Let's change our mindset. There is good things coming. Innovation, yes. What do we call innovation? Bringing new things to the system. And for us to bring these things to the system, then we need to study, broaden our mindset. It is very important that we build our skills. It's not enough to say that you are coming out of school and there's no job. That is not enough. It will be enough for you to fully package yourself, prepared for the unknown, prepared yourself for uncertainty, prepare yourself for something even totally different from what you have been studying, so that when you come out of school, you'll be able to get a job in certain way. Why am I talking like this? I'm a multinational. I'm a multi-task. I study economics. I study business management. At the same time, I'm involved in working in the hospital as a nurse. And at the same time, I develop myself to also work as a secretary to a director. That is what we are talking. Don't limit yourself. There is greatness in you, and you can do more than what you are doing. I don't want to spend much time this morning, but I just want to encourage every one of us, renew our mindset. Look at it in a different way. Government cannot produce all the jobs for us. We need to do our own part. Yes, we can say we are absorbing days and introducing entrepreneur in schools, curriculum. But what about individual? What are we doing? How are we going to help ourselves and help other people that don't have that access to technology? How are we going to help them? And I can believe that when we research, when we work hard, we can also help them too, because everybody deserves to be educated. We all have that right. We have the right, our children have the right to be educated, our women have the right to be educated. Our people in the rural area, they have the right to be educated because we are all one person. We are human beings, and everybody deserves the best thing. Everybody deserves to be working. It's not only even working for people, you can create your own. Like my pastor said it long time ago. If you look for a job for a few years and you didn't get it, create one. It's not easy. I did it. I stood up. I was working for the government, and at the same time, I create my own job. I create my own business. These are the things that we're talking about. We are all need to prepare ourselves for this future. It's not going backward anymore. It's forward we are going. And together we stand. Together we support one another. And together we make a change. And together we make a difference in this world. And prepare for our future generation. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative message. As I can also believe that knowledge is a one thing which no one can stole from us, because it's always in our brain. So having just the degree and not having a proper knowledge, it's useless. So always work if you really want to grab the knowledge. Thank you so much, ma'am. If anybody is having any question. The session was really informative. It seems like that all the queries has been solved through the sessions only, ma'am. Thank you so much for enlightening us.
Thank you very much.
So now we will move to the next speaker, Dr. Mutmana, Assistant Professor, Universitas Al Ayush Mandar, Indonesia. A speaker going to show us the real image that how education changed during the pandemic situation. And this is really a very big topic nowadays. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for having me tonight. Good night, everyone. Good night from Indonesia. Before I start my presentation, I want to say thank you to organizing committee to having me tonight from K.I.T.E Education. Also, thanks to all of the participants and the keynote speaker who attending in this great conference and also deliver a very wonderful topic today. I don't know if all of you very excellent. So, well, allow me to share my screen. I do really hope this my PPT is visible for you. So my time, I know just limited only 15 minutes. I try to make it this, my presentation will cover what actually we need tonight about the topic innovation entrepreneur in the school. Sorry, problem with my PPT. Yeah. Okay. My name is Mutmainna. You can call me Nina. I am lecturer in the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education in my university, Al-Azhar Mandar University in Indonesia, West Sulawesi. This is my national and international organization. Dr. Elizabeth Lucas here. This is our founder from Yes You Can. We have collaboration and getting doing some project together. She mentioned about the book chapter and also the conference. So happy and grateful to be with you again here. And this is my some of my research identity, my scopus, orchid, and all of you can find me anytime, anywhere, in everywhere. So before I'm presenting about actually what is the happening right now on educational sector, we must understanding about the condition today. We are accelerating digital transformation on educational sector. All of the keynote speakers have mentioning about the teacherpreneurship and also about the learning management, technology in education, innovation, and also the discussion about the entrepreneurship. I'm very happy to hear the wonderful session about discussion of the entrepreneurship and also the last about the mindset. So everything this is covering today with our challenge during the pandemic, and this is will be for the next normal in education on educational sector. I divided into 5 the highlight challenge today, the highlight issue that actually happening today about the injected artificial intelligence in education. I think this is in the panel discussion have mentioned about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and etc., and many more about the Internet of Things. And also education transformation. Today we are practice namely remote teaching, virtual classroom, distance education, and also information communication technology culture. And based on this condition, we must redesign again our curriculum. And we, today by using technology or doing innovation, this is not anymore, we cannot say this is the integration, but technology, this is one of the part of our life. This is one of the part of our daily life. We need technology today. And then our education for the next after COVID-19 in the new normal scenario, it will be, we can by using a hybrid or blended environment, we can still use this technology. And the next about infused smart digital classroom management, Professor Mario from Philippines have explained more about the management, LMS, and etc. From my opinion, in smart digital classroom management, when you can be combined between triple quantum. The triple quantum, this is quantum learning, quantum teaching, and quantum technology, how we can mobilize our student, our educator today to be more or to being digital, because everything right now we are going to be digital. The next about cybergogy, one of the theory that I always use here when we combine between pedagogy and the technology in education, this is namely cybergogy. In the cybergogy, this is not only about when you mixing a pedagogy and the technology, but also how to facilitate the student, they have increased their metacognitive skill, knowing how to learn. Or maybe this is will be covering with the entrepreneurship competence, and also for education to be a teacherpreneurship. And then we have changed our mindset today. So the last about digital vaccine, this is the mindset we must understanding and how we are in education, we can be manage our students and facilitate them to understanding about the global condition today. And it will be changing the way they are thinking to be creativity and innovation, or in working, they can be more get the collaboration, not only in local collaboration, national collaboration, and international collaboration. Like we are today, we are connected globally here because we do some of collaboration and innovation. My topic today, we are going to talk and discuss about education challenge during the pandemic situation. So many that we can be doing here about when we wanted to discuss about education, but I'm just only covered with three topics. Can you create innovator and entrepreneur from ordinary people and communities? We cannot do that. So the next emerging generation see trend for the next education, why this is very important. Our students, they are the Gen Z. And the last about designing and creating cloth material. So this is for the first topic about can we create innovator and entrepreneur from ordinary people and community. Let's take a look about the innovation. This is the innovation when we have entrepreneur concept. This is the process to convert opportunity into marketable ideas. I mean that here, let me see about this is the innovation. This is the picture. The first lamp, second, third, and the fourth. This is they are doing some the innovation or doing something new, So what about innovation? Before we are create namely innovation, also we do namely here the creative thinking process. In education, we do really hope that our educator, they can be facilitate the student how to increase their creative thinking skill. There are four here, the ideas about the creative thinking skill, knowledge accumulation, incubation, about the ideas, how we bringing out our ideas into the something new or innovation. And we can do evaluation and implementation. The next about the technique for generating ideas in the education. You can facilitate your student how to they are more be creative by using brainstorming. Today we have application when we wanted to designing mind mapping or brainstorming by using MindMaster, for example, mind mapping. And the next about force analogy, Do it. This is the acronym from define problem, open-minded, identify, based solution, or transformation. Identify based solution. This is related to the 21st century skill about the student have namely problem solving skill. Mapping, nominal group, and survey or observation. We cannot get the idea when we are, for example, doing some of the collaboration, or this is covered with multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary discipline. Like me, I am English teacher, but actually we cannot be collaborate with the computer, artificial intelligence, or machine learning to create more about English material or English content. So let's have a look about the student learning, the way the student learning. This is in the theory, namely organic learning. You can identify how far you support your student to having their mindset. About the technology, about the condition today, this is not only about how we can use so many technology, how we can create so many innovation or ideas, but how we can generate them based on the people need, the people want. Let's have a look about this, the organic learning. The organic learning, there are 4 indicators: knowledge, tool set, skill set, and the last about the mindset. If all of us, our students, they are in this category, so we are as educator, we will be happy. The student, they cannot be independent as independent learner. The student have autonomy in learning. Also, they can manage their self-direct learning and self-determined in learning. And also, this is will be survived. The student will be survived in many conditions after they graduate. Let's have a look about here. Sorry, about the entrepreneurship competence. Yeah, I listening from the discussion. This is the entrepreneurship competence covering with the 3 about knowledge, skill, and aptitude. So interpretation of this, the main topic of entrepreneur competence, this is about the mental model, declarative knowledge, self-insight, marketing skill, resource skill, opportunity skill, and all of this, this is the competence, the entrepreneurship competence that we can be generate or collaborate in education. So let's have a look the next about, for example, the mental model. When you facilitate your student with entrepreneurship competence skill, this is the indicator, the descriptor, or the matrix, whatever. This is about, for example, mental model. The student have knowledge about how to get things done without research, risk, and possibility model. And also some of this category, like today's about the attitude, I want a need for achievement, I cannot do that, we cannot do that. This is back to the Dr. Elizabeth explanation about the mental health. This is about what is about we are doing hard working, never give up. We cannot be survived with this many conditions. So this is the main core about the entrepreneurship competence. And then the entrepreneurial education, this is yeah, some of the theory about it to impact academic performance for our student. Let me hear, for example, in the school or classroom context, yeah, come back again how we are designing our curriculum, our instructional design, and also what about the student peer have a relationship and the background. And come back again about there are 5 here to supporting about entrepreneur education, about the academic mindset, academic perseverance, academic behavior, social skill, learning strategies, and all of these we must break down into our teaching process. Yeah, we must motivate them. So let's have a look about to develop entrepreneur competence for the student. This is entrepreneur competence or entrepreneur skill. For example, educational design. This is 2 requirements to create a venture. Yeah, this is about the what should we do to doing the innovation. And the next about emotional event, yeah, about the happiness, enjoyable, and then this is covered again about the student attitude. And the last about entrepreneur will be more developed when the student into this level. They cannot, I can do this, I want more of this. This is who I am. This is come back up again about the mindset. This is related to the Dr. Elizabeth explanation. Yeah. So in the education, if you wanted to doing the innovation, this is one of the theory, cybergogy. This is the cybergogy covered with the student-centered learning approach. Have explained from the first keynote speaker and Nada. And well, this is the cybergogy. This is actually how to we can be mobilize our student in the classroom. They can be use the technology, and also for educator they can teach, use, and train their student by using the some of application to support namely here the higher order thinking skill or Bloom taxonomy. We see and understand about the student condition. There are so many challenges today because like in Indonesia, this is developing country, my country, 50% of Indonesia area, we are in the rural area, no internet connection. And also most of education and student, they don't have internet, they don't have device and internet connection. Yeah, this is the challenge for us. So if the student asking more than new technology, yeah, so if the student asking about why we must mastery some of the platform, some of the application, some of the tools in learning, because we wanna they gonna be use all of the technology to support their namely here the higher order thinking skills. They can be creative and doing some innovation. Education transformation from framework based on the Microsoft actually come back again to the curriculum, to education, how we can be modernizing our curriculum, and also support our students to becoming digital learner. About the educator, they can becoming a digital teacher. But when understanding so many challenges today to about mostly educator and the student, they have lost skill how to use, how to teach the technology by using this technology. So let's have a look about the 5 case 21st century skill behavior that the teacher need to think. I mean, this is come back again with the first keynote speaker that I have mentioned about, explain about the teacher apprenticeship. Why we must be going to the teacher apprenticeship, because this is there are 5 we must think about that learning today. This is no longer a solo activities. The teacher is no longer the only person teaching in the classroom. Learning is no longer passive, and how we can manage our classroom, and with the normally the model of the teaching a project-based learning. This is one of the student-centered learning teaching model. Let's have a look about the intersection between pedagogy and the technology. This is actually happening all of in the globally. Yeah, you know about the internet connection and the system change. What about the system today? We must understanding about what is the student want, the student need. And the challenge, the intersection, this is about the infrastructure. Like in Indonesia, we still need a support from our ministry communication and the technology about the ICT infrastructure. This is so many we can do if we wanted to doing some innovation or more to be more creative in our education or to be a teacherpreneurship. So let's have a look about the Gen Z, the Generation Z. Our students today, they are the Gen Z. So we must teach them differently because our students today, they are familiar with gadget. They are born digital. So what should we do to analyze and designing our curriculum? We must analyze their learning style. We understanding about their learning style and then support them to and facilitate them with some of the tools of the technology to support namely here the higher order thinking skill based on the Bloom taxonomy. Yeah, so many platforms here, so many media and so many tools, but this is come back again, what is the familiar technology between you and your student. For example, in my classroom, even we know about the Microsoft, for example, this is the good platform, but my student, they are not familiar with Microsoft. They are familiar by using WhatsApp or by using a film or a YouTube. So one of the methodology, if you wanted to designing your classroom to be more giving your class to be more futuristic or innovation, one of the methodology you can use here, namely research and development, that the a new product of education. For example, you can create a new model of teaching, a new application in teaching, a new management system or a management model. This is some of the product in education you can be designing, and also it will be more you can get the more innovation. But let's have a look what we should doing if we wanted to designing our classroom, our education to be more get innovation. Here we must doing some of the research. I think about research and development, you can read some of the literature and some of the article about research and the research and development. This is about when you want to developing your product based on the educational sector. So, well, one of that you can be used here, for example, by using Assure. Assure, this is the acronym from Analyze Learner, State Objective, Select Method, Media Material, and Utilize Media Material, Require Learner Participation, and the last evaluation. This is if you wanted to doing something new or creative or innovation based on your condition, you can use this methodology.
Sorry to interrupt
you,
ma'am. Actually, time is running out, so please wind up.
Yeah, a little bit. For example, in my classroom, you know, most of Indonesian people, and then they are very familiar by YouTube, and also I am designing my material, my classroom, my content, my activities by using YouTube. Why we should do this? Because by using this film, I think, or YouTube, I think this is the student more get easily to understanding in the classroom. This is the example I'm doing. Yeah, I think this is I'm doing innovation in my classroom. In my class, this is my Padlet. I designing my material, my interactional design, my interactional in classroom interactional by using a Padlet. You can see here my student, and also you can design your classroom activities by lecturer inspired, storyline, articulate storyline, and virtual reality, artificial intelligence. So this is the example when I'm using film. This is the point or the key point here about how you break down the pace of your activities in teaching to bring up your student to get their innovation or creative. This is the example when I'm using a film. I play this film. This is the pace, warm up, presenting, practice, production, evaluation. This is breakdown into 5 phases. In this 5 phases, you can help your student to get, namely here, creative or innovation. This is, for example, if you can doing implementation in your classroom, this is come back again, what is your subject or your content. For example, in this film or in this movie, we need to student to understanding about robot, computer, and technology. About this, the content, this is about technology. In the Bloom taxonomy, this is still lower order thinking skill. You asking your student, to develop their lower thinking skill, understanding, and remember. The next, in the presenting, you can ask your student to brainstorming. I think this is one of the key point if you wanted to do to help your student to being more innovative in the classroom. In the practice, they can doing some of discussion or collaboration. In the production, you can ask your student to creating their novelty, their new ideas about the content. And then also they can be doing some of the new or demonstration. And the last evaluation, you can ask your student to answer the question based on this content. So many here, but I think this is the example of my classroom. Yeah, by using smartphone, the material, everything on the smartphone, because I'm developing my cloth material. They are doing discussion. Not only in the classroom, we are doing our teaching and learning process outdoor. Why I do all of this? Because this is my student want. They want, they need. So I'm teaching, I'm designing my material based on my student want, my student need. This is not from me as authority, as educator authority, but I'm come back again, what is the student voice? This is the example. I'm training my student because they wanted to teaching in the rural area. The rural area, the teacher, educator, or the student don't have internet connection. So we facilitate them. We create some of the media here. They practice before they are going to the school to teaching. Yeah, so many here my classroom that actually I have implementation. I'm sharing to you about some of if don't have internet connection. So the main point here that technology, this is only the tools. The technology cannot replace the teacher. But we use technology to make our learning and teaching process to be more practice, effective, and efficient. This is come back again with your pedagogy, how you are designing, creating your activities. Thank you for having me and listening to me tonight.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us about the artificial intelligence, as nowadays it is very much important and a very good trend going on related to the artificial intelligence. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to call another speaker. With equal pleasure, I invite Dr. Narmeen Mohammed, Doctor of Applied Linguistics, Educator, Curriculum and Telefaculty of Education, Egypt. Over to you. Dr. Narmeen.
Yes.
Over to you.
Welcome to everyone. Good afternoon from Egypt. I'd like to express my sincere thanks, appreciation, gratitude for the welcome invitation to the International Conference on Fostering Innovation and Entrepreneurship in School Education to achieve sustainable development goals. Also, many thanks to Prof. Mutmainna for nominating me to be with her in this great conference. And many thanks to all the contributors and all speakers and all the participants in this great event. Okay, this is Dr. Nermin Muhammad Kamal Shalabi, Doctor of Applied Linguistics, Curriculum and TEFL Faculty of Education, Damietta University, Egypt. Please, first, let me share my screen.
Ma'am, you can share your screen.
Okay. Please just, please a minute, please.
Today's session was really interesting, and the information which we all got, that's really a big information which we cannot find it from the books. And the key speakers which we were having today, they were having such a great knowledge related to education and with respect to the pandemic time period and the development which is going in the field of entrepreneurship.
Okay, I think that there is a technical problem to share my screen. So let's talk orally. Today, let's talk about innovation in EFL and ESL teaching. Innovation in education is about more than a new technology. It's about solving a real problem in a fresh, simple way to promote equity and improve learning. It comes in many forms. Programs, services, process, products, and partnerships. It can all enhance education outcomes in innovative ways, like customized games on solar-powered tablets that deliver English lessons to children. And also digital learning platforms that teach English language for children. Innovation in education means solving a real problem in a new, simple way to promote equitable learning. Innovation in education matches the skill of the solution to the skill of the challenge. It draws on the creativity and the experience of communities to ensure decisions are made by those most affected by their outcomes. Many innovators are already at work in classrooms and communities. And the United Nations Children's Fund collaborates with partners to identify, incubate, and scale promising innovations that help fulfill every child's right to learn. Okay. They also it's work to strengthen schools and governments to build strong, innovative education systems that enhance learning for all children. Also, let's talk about the importance of innovation in education. Increasingly, innovation in education at school is fast, becoming a way of learning and teaching for both students and teachers, respectively. Respectively, innovation encourages students and teachers to research, explore, and use all the tools to uncover something new. Innovation involves a different way of looking at problems and solving them. It also improves education and because it compels students to use a higher level of thinking to solve complex problems. Also, innovation does not just mean the use of technology or a new invention. It involves a new way of thinking, thereby helping students develop their creativity and problem-solving skills. However, here are different ways that the teacher can introduce innovation in the classroom. First one, by giving them a problem that both authentic and interesting. It means that a teacher needs to know about students' interests. Authenticity involves using real tools to tackle problems. Also, a teacher should give students the basis, but keep it short. Teacher will need to give students some basic information and knowledge to get started on their projects. Also, a teacher should encourage them to research independently. This research can draw from, for example, Wikipedia, internet message boards, programming language, documentation, sample code, and so on. Okay. Also, teacher should build a complex students' complex skills. So teacher can encourage them to use complex tools to complete their projects. So both teacher and the students need to become familiar with their tool to use them regularly. Okay. Also, teachers should check that the students have understood the concepts in a classroom, focusing on a highly individualized projects. Teachers need to monitor what students are struggling with. Also, teachers should ensure that students find innovative users of everyday objects. This will help students flex their muscles and think beyond the standard users of everyday objects. Also, teachers should confirm that students know what they still need to learn. In order to innovate, and solve problems effectively, students need to understand not only what they already know and what they still need to learn. Okay. Also, teacher shouldn't grade on innovation. Sorry, on innovation and creativity grades. Work really well when there is one correct answer for a specific problem. For projects that emphasize innovation and creativity, there is no one answer. And there is a technique that is very important for developing innovation in the classroom, in EFL and ESL classroom and teaching. It's ask, investigate, create, discuss, reflect technique. It's an inquiry cycle, which has 5 steps. Ask, that begins with asking new questions, are inspired by learners' curiosity about real-world experiences and challenges. Second, investigate, that provide learners research to turn curiosity into action. Therefore, they gather information, study, observe, or interview, and become self-motivated learners. Third, create, that provides learners form active meaning of knowledge and make connections for composing significant new ideas and extending their experiences. The first one, discuss, is that the student can argue, share their ideas to others, ask others about their own experiences, and construct knowledge together. The fifth one is reflect. A student at last student take the time to look back at the initial questions, the research base, and make observations, conclusions, and new decisions. So let's recognize about some characteristics of learners. The first characteristics is trust and fairness. That means that learners treat people with respect and have ethical behavior, open and transparent communication. Also, a student should be entrepreneur. So they are self-reliant, self-aware, and self-sufficient. Yeah, and self-directed, relying more on self-service tools. They grow up having access to search engines. Also, they are storytellers. They value with storytelling to provide a more immersive entertainment experiences. Yes. They also pragmatic. They realize that life will not always be easy. Yes, and the failure is an opportunity to try again. Yes. They also self-starter with strong desire to work for themselves and design their own programs of study, especially in colleges. They also have hands-on experiences. They also learn best by creating a hands-on experience. Also, the skill focused is they realize the importance of building a skill at a young stage. They also are highly progressive when it comes to social policy. Learners are, we say about them, they are goal oriented. Yeah, it means they focus on reaching specific objectives, and they are multitaskers. Means they perform, manage many tasks at the same time. They are diverse. They believe that diversity is good for society. They have high rates of depression and anxiety. So teacher can use some techniques to overcome these characteristics. Also, we can say about them, students are true digital natives. They consider digital tools are necessary parts of life, so they are able to access information at any time. Also, I would like to mention some tips for getting learners ready for a future, and be innovative and creative. So, teacher should depend on hands-on experience activities, because learners learn best by doing, and follow student curiosities. So design best activities for them to be suitable for their characteristics. Also, teacher should use more technology in the classroom, not in order to replace traditional subjects, but to enable new intersections among them, encouraging new ideas and collaborations. Yeah. A teacher should have a more of a focus on creativity in the classrooms, and it will play a good or a big role in learners' futures success and resolving today's challenges. Yes. And also use a teacher should use charts, graphics, multimedia, can make material memorable, and providing the student with rationale, explain up front them why a lesson is important, and how it's applicable in the real world. Yeah. Also, teachers should make an effort to understand students or other, make a student understand other cultures, and how the diversity of a student affects how they see themselves and the world around them. Yeah. Also, teachers should support the student with the diverse books and materials and electronic materials also, by incorporating multi-cultural literature to focus cross-cultural understanding. Yes, also use teachers should use techniques that focus on positively, as trying rewarding engagement with verbal praise. Yes. Also, making teachers should make accommodations by giving assignment extension, breaking tasks into smaller pieces, and offering to help the student create study plans. Yeah, basis, and offering to help students create study plans. They may also encourage students to help one another. And at last, I'd like to thank you for your listening and your attention.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative lecture. Really sorry for extending the time. Actually, the knowledge is a lot and the time is less. I request the students to please cooperate as they have cooperated earlier also. Really sorry for extending the time. Now, I would like to thank all our speakers for enlightening us and the attendees for making the conference successful. The feedback link will be shared with you on your email IDs. You need to fill that, and within a few days, you will get your certificate. Thank you so much. With this, we will end this session. Thank you all for joining the webinar. K.I.T.E.S education is associated with Yuva Incubator. We all thank you for giving your precious time to us. Thank you all.